The sky above Earth was unusually silent that night, as if the universe itself held its breath. Commander Elias Kane stood on the observation deck of the orbital station Aegis Prime, his eyes tracing the stars beyond the atmosphere. He had always found comfort in their constancy, but tonight the constellations seemed wrong, shifted, almost like someone had moved the pieces of a puzzle he thought he understood. Dr. Mira Solin joined him, her tablet glowing faintly in the dim light. "Elias, the signals we picked up, they're not random," she said, her voice steady but tense. "Someone, or something, is observing us, and it's been doing it for decades." Kane frowned. "You mean aliens?" Solin nodded, her calm expression betraying the undercurrent of fear. "Not just any aliens. Whoever, or whatever, sent this is sophisticated, patient, calculating." Earth had grown complacent in the last century, its nations divided, its fleets outdated, and its confidence inflated. Humanity assumed the stars were distant, the galaxy indifferent. Yet these signals suggested that the galaxy had been watching, and humanity had only just noticed. The orbital monitors flickered as a new alert appeared. "Deep space anomaly detected. Trajectory toward Sol system." Kane's pulse quickened. He had trained for crises like this, but nothing in his simulations captured the feeling of real threat. "Prepare the fleet for reconnaissance," he ordered, his voice firm. "If they're coming here, we need to know why." Solin hesitated. "The signals, they're more than just data. They're messages. Patterns embedded within patterns. Someone is trying to communicate, but I can't decipher it yet." Kane clenched his fists. "Or they're trying to teach us a lesson, and I don't intend to fail it." The night deepened as Earth's population slept unaware of the silent menace approaching. In the corridors of power, debates raged, military councils squabbling, politicians hesitating. Humanity's defenders were scattered, disorganized, and unprepared. Only a handful understood the urgency, and even fewer trusted each other enough to act decisively. In the midst of this uncertainty, Kane convened a small council aboard Aegis Prime. Among them were the brightest minds and the most capable officers: Solin, strategist General Tarek Voss, and communications expert Lieutenant Naomi Chan. The room hummed with tension. "Our priority," Kane said, "is to understand the anomaly before it understands us. We're not looking for diplomacy yet. We're looking for survival." Solin projected the signal onto the holomap. Streams of encoded pulses formed intricate patterns, almost like a language, yet alien in every conceivable way. "I can isolate fragments," she explained, "but each fragment seems adaptive, like it's learning from us as we decode it." Voss leaned forward. "Are you telling me they've been observing humanity for decades, learning our strengths and weaknesses, and now we're finally noticing?" "Exactly," Solin replied. "And the more we uncover, the more urgent it becomes. This isn't a threat to ignore. It's a challenge to face, and we are dangerously unprepared." A low rumble shook the station, a reminder that even in orbit, Earth was fragile. Kane's gaze hardened. He knew the real battle hadn't started yet, but he could feel it approaching. Humanity would have to rise beyond old fears, beyond old rivalries, if it wanted to survive what was coming. As the night wore on, Kane and Solin continued their work, decoding fragments of the mysterious message. The stars beyond shimmered, indifferent yet filled with hidden intent. Somewhere out there, the Watchers waited. Somewhere they were learning, and humanity's first move would determine everything. The Terran fleet had barely cleared the edge of the Sol system when the first sign of danger arrived. The void ahead, once silent and empty, pulsed with energy, alien signatures that made even seasoned officers uneasy. Commander Elias Kane stood on the bridge of the lead ship Aegis Vanguard, scanning the readings. Every indicator told him one thing: they were not alone, and whatever awaited them was not idle. Lieutenant Naomi Chen's fingers flew over the control panel. "Unknown ships approaching, Commander. They're fast. Faster than anything in our database." Her voice was calm, but her eyes betrayed a flicker of fear. Kane didn't respond immediately. Instead, he studied the holographic projections. The alien vessels weren't just advanced, they were adaptive. Their formations shifted with purpose, predicting the fleet's movements before the Terrans had a chance to respond. Dr. Mira Solin joined him, eyes fixed on the monitors. "They're studying us. Every maneuver, every system we activate, they're learning." Kane's jaw tightened. "We've trained for scenarios like this, but nothing can prepare you for real enemy ingenuity. We adapt, or we die." The first contact came without warning. A pulse of energy erupted from the leading alien vessel, striking the Aegis Vanguard's shields. The bridge shook violently as alarms blared. Crewmen scrambled to respond, their movements precise despite the chaos. "Return fire," Kane commanded. The fleet's weapons fired in synchronized bursts, plasma and railgun rounds cutting through the void. But the alien ships moved with uncanny coordination, dodging and countering with a precision that made Kane's stomach knot. One of the smaller Terran frigates vanished in an instant, leaving nothing but a ripple of energy and a panic signal. Distress. Disappear. Unknown. "Sir," Chen said, her voice tight, "we're being scanned. Their technology. It's like they're mapping our fleet in real time. Every defensive measure we've tried, they know it before we even execute." Kane took a deep breath. "Then we make them guess. Change formations. Move unpredictably. Humanity has survived worse odds than this, and we'll do it again." Solin's voice broke in, quieter this time. "They're not just testing our fleet. The signals, they're probing our minds, our instincts. This isn't a battle of weapons alone. It's a battle of will." The fleet pressed onward, navigating through the unknown, weaving between asteroid fields and debris from forgotten satellites. Each jump forward felt like stepping into a predator's den. But humanity's ingenuity, raw courage, and refusal to surrender became their advantage. Improvised tactics, unconventional maneuvers, and daring ruses began to slow the alien advance, if only slightly. Suddenly, a flash appeared on all communications channels, a fragmentary message from the missing frigate. It was brief, distorted, almost nonsensical, yet chilling. "They know everything. Run." Kane's hands gripped the edge of the command console. "No," he muttered. "We don't run. We adapt. That's what makes us human. That's why they'll never truly understand us." As the fleet pushed further into the abyss, the alien vessels began retreating momentarily, almost as if amused or intrigued. Kane stared into the black expanse of space ahead, knowing that this was just the beginning. Somewhere beyond the next star cluster, deeper into uncharted systems, waited challenges far greater than these first encounters. Humanity was being tested, measured, and perhaps underestimated in ways the galaxy would soon regret. The Terran fleet moved onward, hearts steeled, minds sharpened. Every human aboard knew one thing: the abyss was vast, the enemy formidable, and the odds against them overwhelming. But humanity had never surrendered, and this time would be no different. The uncharted system appeared on the fleet scanners like a forgotten gem, a quiet cluster of stars and planets far from the war-torn lanes the galaxy had grown accustomed to. Commander Elias Kane studied the readings, his eyes narrowing. No major energy signatures. No patrols. Just opportunity. Dr. Mira Solin leaned over the console, her brow furrowed. Opportunity or trap? Remember, Kane, the moment the aliens underestimated a human tactic, we turned it to our advantage. We can't assume this quiet is safe. Kane nodded. That's why we proceed carefully. Deploy scouts. Probe every planet. The humans who came before us didn't survive by rushing blindly into the void. The fleet descended into the system, each ship moving with practiced precision. On one barren world, scanners revealed mineral-rich surfaces, rare elements that could bolster Terran weaponry and shield technology. Another planet held signs of water and potential terraforming capability, a strategic foothold for humanity in the wider galaxy. Human ingenuity meets fortune, Kane muttered. Let's make this system our foothold before anyone else realizes its value. Yet even here, danger lurked. Small alien probes, fast and almost invisible, began skimming past the fleet. They weren't attacking yet, but their presence was undeniable. Someone was watching. Someone who hadn't yet lost interest in humanity's movements. Lieutenant Naomi Chan tapped her console, highlighting trajectories. They're scanning the planets, probably assessing resource value and population potential. If we move too slowly, they'll claim it first, or worse, they'll strike before we can exploit these worlds. Kane's jaw tightened. Then we act. Divide the fleet. Establish orbital defenses. Set up automated mining stations. And most importantly, he paused, glancing at his officers, make sure they know humans don't surrender, even in uncharted space. Solin's eyes lit with determination. I've isolated fragments of alien communication. It seems they've underestimated human ingenuity so far, but now, if we can turn the system to our advantage, they might reconsider their strategy entirely. The first real test came when a small alien strike team attempted to ambush a Terran scout vessel near the largest planet. Using improvised tactics, the humans lured the attackers into a narrow canyon on the planet's surface. There, concealed orbital artillery and rapid maneuvers destroyed the alien craft before it could retreat. For the first time in this campaign, Kane allowed himself a small, satisfied smile. Humanity had not only survived, they had outwitted their opponent. But the victory was fleeting. A high-priority signal from the alien command network triggered an alert across all Terran systems. The message was short, calculated, and menacing. They learn. They adapt. You cannot hide. Chen's fingers trembled slightly as she relayed the transmission. They've escalated. Expect reinforcements soon. Whatever quiet we've found here will not last. Kane's gaze swept the system. The planets that had promised opportunity now also threatened war. Yet in that moment, he realized something profound. Humanity had turned the tables, even in the uncharted frontier. Their resourcefulness, bravery, and unity, traits the aliens had dismissed, were tangible, decisive weapons. Prepare defenses, Kane ordered, and ready a landing team for surface operations. This system becomes ours, and we'll show anyone who doubts humans that even the undefended frontier bends to our will. Solin glanced at him, a mixture of awe and determination in her eyes. If we can survive here, we can survive anywhere. The galaxy will have to recognize it eventually. Above them, the stars gleamed cold and distant, indifferent to human struggle. Yet Kane and his officers felt the first stirrings of a truth the galaxy had not yet learned. Humanity was not merely surviving the void. Humanity was beginning to define it. And every alien watching from the darkness would soon understand that fact, whether they liked it or not. The alien reinforcements arrived without warning, a shadowy armada that blotted out the starlight of the uncharted system. Commander Elias Kane stood rigid on the bridge of Aegis Vanguard, his gaze sweeping across the holographic projections of the incoming fleet. Every ship, every formation screamed efficiency and lethal intent. Lieutenant Naomi Chen's fingers danced over the controls, issuing evasive maneuvers and shield calibrations. They're coordinating with uncanny precision. Every move we make, they counter it. Their numbers, they're overwhelming. Kane's jaw tightened. Then we make every moment count. Humanity doesn't yield to numbers. We innovate, adapt, and fight back. Dr. Mira Solin adjusted her tablet, eyes scanning the enemy signals. They've learned from our previous engagements. Their strategy isn't just about firepower. They're studying us, predicting how we think, anticipating our choices. This is more than a battle. It's a test of human ingenuity. The first salvo of alien plasma tore through the void, striking the outermost Terran frigates. Explosions rocked the ships as alarms blared, shaking even the seasoned officers. Civilians aboard the transport vessels screamed, but military crews moved with precision, repairing shields and rerouting power. Divert all available energy to defensive systems, Kane ordered. Use the terrain, the asteroid fields, the gas clouds, anything to slow them down. Despite the chaos, humanity's ingenuity shone. Terran ships split into unpredictable formations, weaving through asteroid belts and using debris as cover. Automated drones, previously built for resource gathering, were repurposed into defensive weapons. Mines were deployed with impeccable timing, striking alien vessels before they could adjust. Yet even with these innovations, the enemy pressed relentlessly. One Terran frigate went dark, the crew lost in seconds, leaving only a faint distress signal. Survivors, few, running. Solin's hands flew across the controls. They're probing our defenses again, adapting faster than we can anticipate. Every tactic we've used is being countered now. We're at the limit. Kane's eyes hardened. Limits are for those who don't improvise. Remember why we fight. Humanity has survived impossible odds before. This is just another test. And we will not fail it. The fleet retreated into a dense asteroid field, baiting the alien armada into narrow corridors. Every human maneuver was a gamble, but each gamble was calculated with instinct and courage. Explosions lit the void like fireworks as Terran ingenuity began to turn the tide. Still, the alien superweapon loomed, a massive vessel shimmering with energy, a threat capable of annihilating an entire colony. Its activation sequence had begun, visible even from light years away. Kane knew that failure here would mean extinction. "Prepare boarding teams," he said, voice low and deliberate. "We're taking the fight to them. If we can disable that weapon, we survive. If we don't—" He didn't finish the sentence. No one needed to hear it. Solin's eyes met his. "We can do it, Elias. We have to. Humanity doesn't surrender. Not now. Not ever." The fleet surged forward, weaving through asteroid debris, dodging enemy fire, and striking with precision. Every human aboard knew the stakes. Every human understood the weight of history pressing on their shoulders. They were fighting not just for survival, but for the legacy of their species. Above the chaos, the stars shone indifferent, silent witnesses to the struggle. Yet even in that void, a truth was emerging. The galaxy had underestimated humanity, and it would not make that mistake again. The alien superweapon loomed above the largest planet in the uncharted system, a colossal vessel bristling with energy arrays that could obliterate anything in seconds. Commander Elias Kane stood on the bridge of Aegis Vanguard, eyes fixed on the shimmering mass of destructive power. The moment of truth had arrived. Humanity's survival rested on ingenuity, courage, and sheer will. Lieutenant Naomi Chen's hands flew over the controls. Shields at maximum. All offensive systems ready. Boarding teams deployed. The superweapon's defenses are heavy, but not impenetrable. Dr. Mira Solin projected the alien schematics in 3 dimensions. We've identified weak points, critical systems they've left exposed. If we can reach them, we can disable the weapon. Kane's jaw tightened. Then we go forward. No hesitation. This is what we've trained for, what we've endured. Humanity does not bow. Humanity fights. And humanity wins. The Terran fleet surged into the fray, weaving through relentless alien fire. Plasmas streaked across the void, explosions lit the darkness, and human ingenuity turned obstacles into advantage. Mining drones repurposed as attack platforms struck enemy vessels, while agile frigates darted through debris to outmaneuver superior numbers. A boarding team, led by Kane himself, launched in assault pods toward the superweapon. They hurtled through energy barriers and precision turrets, using every trick humanity had learned from previous encounters. Inside the alien vessel, chaos erupted. Alien crews scrambled to respond, but Kane's team moved with determination, disabling critical systems and planting charges in strategic locations. Each moment brought them closer to victory, and closer to danger. Solon coordinated from orbit, guiding the fleet with real-time analysis. Timing is critical. Detonation in 3, 2, 1. The superweapon shuddered violently, systems failing as the charges detonated. Energy arrays collapsed, shields flickered, and the vessel, once a symbol of unstoppable force, became a powerless husk drifting in the void. Cheers erupted across the Terran fleet, but Kane remained focused. "We're not done," he reminded his officers. "The galaxy is vast, and others are watching. Humanity has made its mark, but we must continue to rise." For the first time, the human fleet held the advantage. Alien vessels, previously confident and overwhelming, began retreating, their formations fractured. Terran ingenuity, courage, and resilience had turned the tide. Solin smiled faintly. "They underestimated us. They always do. But now they'll remember." Kane gazed at the stars beyond, a deep sense of purpose settling in his chest. Humanity had survived the abyss, conquered the undefended frontier, and proven its place among the stars. Yet even as celebrations echoed through the fleet, he sensed a greater challenge looming, older, wiser, and far more dangerous. Somewhere beyond known space, the Watchers stirred. Humanity's rise had not gone unnoticed, and the galaxy would soon face a species that refused to be underestimated. But for now, the Terran legacy was clear. From the shadows over Earth to the heart of alien space, humans had endured, adapted, and triumphed. The first among stars, they had risen beyond the void. As Kane stood on the observation deck once more, Mira beside him, he whispered quietly, "This is only the beginning. The galaxy will know the name of humanity, and it will remember." The stars gleamed, indifferent yet silent witnesses to the triumph. Humanity's story had been written not in surrender, but in courage, in ingenuity, and in the unbreakable spirit that no alien calculation could ever predict. And somewhere in the darkness, new eyes watched, ready to challenge, but already aware, the Terran legacy had begun.